In this lecture, we will learn how we can use machine learning to classify the text. So machine learning at its core is nothing but a technique to teach a machine, which is nothing but a computer, to learn the patterns from the existing data. As an example, you can feed the machine a bunch of images of cats and dogs and label it up front, saying that okay, this is the image of a cat, so label it as a cat. Then you feed it another image saying this is the image of a dog, and just label it as dog and feed it. So it's a known set of data, and we also tell machine what algorithm it needs to use to figure out the patterns in the data. Then the machine can learn from the patterns of the data on how to classify images from cats and dogs, and once it learns, it creates a model, and using that model it can predict the category for the new image. So once the machine learns the model, you can feed a new image without specifying whether it's a cat and dog, and the machine can tell you whether it's a cat or dog with a high degree of accuracy. Similar to the images, we can also feed machine a bunch of text documents along with the labels. So say you have lots of cooking recipes, and you can probably label each of the recipes as this is a recipe of a pasta, or this is a recipe of a chicken soup, or this is a recipe of a broccoli chowder soup, and the machine can figure out the categories patterns from this text of data and known labels. Then if you feed in a new document, a new cooking recipe without any label, the machine can figure out the appropriate category with a high degree of accuracy. Since machines are learning from the patterns of the data, and you can just feed lots of documents to the lots of machines, and the machines can classify billions of documents in a matter of few minutes. So as you can see, it's highly scalable, highly performant, and it can reduce the time for classification to a matter of few minutes. Another thing that you must have noticed is we are not explicitly telling computers or a machine the rules that it can use to classify the text. For example, we are not telling machine if you see pasta in the recipe, that means the pasta recipe. The machines figure out from the patterns of the data. Since we don't explicitly program the rules in the system, the machine can adapt to the new patterns in the data. So let's say tomorrow, if you completely the patterns are changing, and if you completely submitting the new data set, the machine can just learn the new model and start predicting based on the new model. So it does not require us to again change the program to adapt to the new data set. So in the next few lectures, we are going to focus a little bit more on machine learning and a specific type of machine learning for text classification, which we call it as word embeddings. We are going to learn about that, and then we will actually learn the specific implementation of word embeddings using fast text, and then we are going to code an example that will showcase on how can we tell machine to learn the patterns from the text.